having here. So initially my top title was Rich Media Mobile Advertising, and then I wanted to spice it up and I added the power of mobile sensors because in these smartphones high-end are becoming ubiquitous and they have a lot of really powerful sensors. Later on when I was preparing my slides I just crossed out the Rich Media Mobile Advertising. So I was trying to find a adventurous photo of me, but I couldn't find it. So I guess my life is pretty boring. I work all the time, and I don't have any hobbies actually. So as said, I'm a PhD candidate here at the University of Ljubljana, but most of the time I spend at the company where I do research and development. I spend a lot of development, a little bit less of research. And I work at Celtra. Celtra offers tools for advertising ad products and also trafficking and analytics. And we managed to gain some really interesting partners because our market share is, from what I heard, is enormous, especially in the States. We have offices in San Francisco, London, Chicago, New York, and here in Ljubljana. So we have partners and publishers, and there are major networks like CNN, BBC, Yahoo, also Google and Microsoft and Amazon. The majority of our clients are basically agencies who produce ads for big brands like Mars, Macy's, BMW, Infinity, Warner Bros, Sony, H&M, McDonald's, you name it. This is the tool. This is the main tool that is used for creating these rich media ads. And the platform is browser-based, which means it runs on HTML, CSS, and a little bit of a lot of JavaScript Voodoo. And once the ad is created, you can run it across different platforms that support HTML. So basically, in every browser. We're especially targeting to smartphones and tablets. And this is some of the really great examples that our clients made of. I especially chosen those who are more using mobile sensors, although there are others who are also great, so I'm just going to show you this one. So this is the tablet. The content is placeholder content. It's not real content, but images would pop up in the regular news website. And this ad is using the advantage of gyro. So you can basically rotate your tablet and you interact with it. It's really rewarding to see that these ads are built with the software that you built. Since we don't have much time, gonna skip this. This one is really awesome. I hope we have sound here because do we have sound here? Sorry, I'm going to pause it. Is this the sound? No, this isn't. Otherwise, I'll roar. Or maybe I'll show the last one, which doesn't require sound. But I'd also like to show you the previous one, so the sound will be sufficient. This is the ad for Infinity. It's actually built with our old platform. It uses iOS gyro features. This ad is inside of the application Shazam, if you know it. So it's basically the same technique. And I believe that in the near future we're going to see a bit more user interfaces that you're going to interact with different motions, not just keyboard, not just mouse, but different type of gestures and shape motions. It's working now. Okay, great. So this is the ad for Plexus. Oh, great. Thank you. So, there comes the awesome part. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? So it's when you tilt the phone, the sound of the engine roars. I think it's pretty amazing. I mean, I was really impressed when I saw that this was built with our software. I wasn't even aware that this is possible. So yeah, seems to me our clients are really great. I mean, and after this traffic, we offer analytics. This is where I work most of the time on presenting the analytics in a most meaningful way. But Celtra is not the thing I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about mobile capabilities, and especially those who are present in our modern browsers. We have a lot of sensors. I wasn't even aware until I did a little bit of research. And I saw that in some Android devices there are some certain sensors present as proximity and ambient light and temperature. So you can actually use your Android phone to measure your environmental ambient inside the house or wherever you are. With the progress of World Wide Web consortium, there are possibilities to access those software/hardware inside of your phone, which with the simple API, with 3 lines of code, and you can access the vibration or geolocation. So the first one is a little bit old school now. It's location. It's possible through GPS satellites. Or cell towers from your service provider. Those who have asterisks in front of the name are could also be used for locationing, especially for indoor locationing with RFID, near field communication. Also, ultrasound and IR is possible to locate your device inside of the building. This is the API that's used inside of the browser, inside of mobile browsers as well, to gain the longitude and latitude from the user. I can actually show you how this works. I'm going to copy paste this. I know this is a live demo, so I'm not actually expecting this to work. So this is pretty much my developer tools. I use this browser console to in my development process. I'm just going to copy and paste it here. And if I'm lucky enough, yeah, I was lucky enough. So you get this, you have to allow or disallow. This is the security issue. Every time you try to assess the location of a cell phone or computer, the user has to allow it. This is for security reasons, obviously. So once I allow this, awesome, I got this coordinates, latitude and longitude written here. Can you see it? Yes. So, and this was like what, actually one line of code. The other two, the second line was just a comment, and the third and the fourth was just to output the values. So this is how easy it gets. I'm just going to close that down. And these are all things that run in the browser. The first application that comes to my mind that took the great advantage of GPS and location was the Foursquare. I think it's now like 5 or 6 years old already, and they really managed to gain a lot of users. Probably you're using or you've heard of Foursquare already. The second one is kind of similar, it's Yelp, but it's not used here. In San Francisco, I know there are guys who are using this all the time. It's a recommendation system, crowd-based recommendation system for restaurants and bars and pubs and stuff like that. Google Maps obviously is using the sensors that are using cell phones. And other possibilities there are indoor geolocation. I mean, Apple and Google and all those big brands are investing a lot of money into trying to detect when user is moving inside of the building. So I'm pretty sure IKEA in the next couple of years will have a great system tracking wherever you are and offering great offers or I don't know what they're going to do with that, but it's certainly being the forthcoming feature. The second sensor is also available in high-end smartphones like Android and iOS devices. Is accelerometer and gyroscope. The code looks pretty much the same. You can access it to your browser, but I'm not going to do that since the desktop browser doesn't have a accelerometer inside. And the use cases, I haven't actually found an application that takes a great advantage of accelerometer or gyro, but there are a lot of games that are using these technologies. And there are a lot of possibilities to use that. One that I stumbled upon was Lyra. It uses geotagged content from outside, and you point your cell phone camera in a certain direction, and you get these dots where something is geotagged. I believe that this is only using compass, but I'm not sure. I didn't do my homework on this one. And other possibilities, Apple is already using shake to refresh, it's shake to undo, but a lot of applications are using like shake to refresh the content, which is quite useful. I mean, it's the natural gesture that we're going to probably be using in the near future quite a lot instead of using just keyboard and mouse. It's rather quick to just shake your cell phone to get a new content, just achieve something. I once did a prototype of adjustable font size. I had this content, and whenever the device realized that I was moving, it increased the font size to adjust the readability a bit. But that didn't actually work as I planned. So maybe it's possible to build a mobile dance instructor to keep your mobile application in your pocket and to guide you through the steps. But I'm not sure how this would go. Camera. This one seems quite trivial in itself, but there are actually quite some interesting things that people did only with cameras. One thing is heart rate monitor. I was blown away once this one came out, and actually it's measuring your. It takes snapshots of your finger, and then not really sure how it does it, but somehow it just works. At MIT, they did an amazing research regarding this. Not sure if we don't have time to watch this video.
You have 5 minutes or 7. It's enough.
If you're not bored yet, so we can actually play this one. But I think it's a 3-minute video.
In this video, we demonstrate that it's possible to analyze cardiac pulse from regular videos to extract the imperceptible motions of the head caused by blood flow, causes the head to move. This movement is too small to be visible with the naked eye, but we can use video amplification to reveal it.
Yeah, they actually amplify the video and monitor the changes
Believe it or not,
automatically,
we
of
all
course.
put complements of different motions in our heart rate, but in a much smaller amplitude than this. Now you might wonder what causes
And
this.
this is just the movement.
Each cardiac cycle,
Now
heart's
is the
contracts.
technical stage stuff.
At high speed standard provided by this air tank, and I can release the air using this valve. Now watch what happens as I open and close the valve once a second, similar to a normal heart rate. Ready? Here. This motion is fairly similar to the amplified motion of real heads that we've seen before. We exploit this effect to develop a technique that can add tracking algorithm. We decompose the multi-dimensional motion of the locations for further analysis, such as heart rate variability.
I guess they published a lot of videos, and in one of these videos, they're actually monitoring the color changes as well. So technically or theoretically, they would be. The idea is to actually measure the blood flow through your body, and especially useful would be for the infants, where it's not good to touch them and measure on them. But with camera, it's quite intrusive way to measure heart flow and heart rate and stuff like that with the infants. And I think this is the second time MIT was mentioned here, so they must be doing some great work. And another one is, I need to say this, but Pixel is a Slovenian application. They just launched in United Kingdom. It's sort of a, the idea goes like this. You're commuting to work and you stumble upon some article that you find interesting, but you don't have the time to read it just then. So you take a snapshot of it, and it does some recognition and actually sends you the digital version of it on your phone. So whenever you have time to read it, you just read it then on your cell phone. They joined forces with New York Times and those big publishers. So I think this might be really good idea. This is really great idea, and I hope they succeed. And it's Slovenian. Ambient light. It's also possible. I pasted the snippet of a code. I'm not going to try this, but because I already succeeded once, I'm not going to challenge my luck in the second attempt. But it's the same approach. You can actually get the ambient light inside of your browser. It's also using the camera. It returns the value in lux. So this is the scale of how it's possible, how it is. So inside of the indoor there's below 400, and you see the rest. There are quite some possibilities. Reduce eye strain and say smartphone battery, an optimized reading experience to adjust contrast, for instance. And it works in browsers. Every cell phone with just 3 lines of code, you can access this and you do magic with it. These are the environmental sensors inside our devices. These here are only in Android phones, I believe, and they are not present in browsers. So this is a drawback, but I think that in the near future these will also be present in browsers. Yeah, there are numbers of possibilities as well here. You can actually better predict weather changes, because everyone is already using cell phones, and if we collect this data, we can combine it with the other measuring systems and improve our results and predictions. Other possibilities are probably in hiking outdoors and also in improving living indoors. Barometer and altimeter apps are already present in this Google market for Androids. Proximity meter, that's kind of interesting, and it's already present. This is where you actually know whether the user is holding the device like this or not. So you can actually detect these changes and respond accordingly. It's pretty easy to do that, and it works in browsers. Currently, I believe it only returns the value like true or false, but for some Android devices and with native SDK, it actually returns the length in centimeters. So I think this could be useful in the near future, for instance, for some sort of peer-to-peer sharing stuff between two different persons. Also, obviously, for multiplayer games, and yeah, there are quite some possibilities as well. Fingerprinting. This is the new addition to iPhone 5S, and it was completely funded by NSA, because of course they want to create our fingerprints. I'm just kidding with this one, but it's useful for authentication. It increases the speed of how you interact with your device. I would say it's more secure because fingerprints are unique, whereas password isn't. Most of the passwords are still password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 20% of users are using the same password, so do the math. But with fingerprints, this could be like a step forward towards the better security. There are also a lot of possibilities to use your mobile devices with external sensors. And here I'm going to also list two companies from Slovenia. One is Lumo. They really did a great job on it. They launched a Kickstarter campaign and they immediately exceeded the limit they were trying to gain. Certainly, it's used for external analog photography and videography as well. You're going to see it why. I think this is a great example of how external sensors can enhance our smartphone devices. The second one is, yeah, as I said, from Slovenia. These are those small cube sensors. They can measure the air quality, temperature, humidity, and they send you a notification when it goes out of range to improve indoor living. In the near future, I believe, from what I've read and heard and do the research, there are quite some other sensors that will be present in our devices. One is force sensor, which is in some sort of experimental way. You can now actually try to achieve that, but they need some awesome idea. And force sensor, I think that in the near future with Android phones, they will measure touch width as well. These are some crazy, but there are a lot of possibilities where you can do it force sensor within your devices. And of course, radiation, glucose, alcohol, breath analysis. These are the forthcoming possibilities of mobile devices, sensors. What differentiates the best applications and solutions from mediocre is that some of them immediately took the advantage of what's out there, the technology that is out there, and hopefully in the near future we'll see more applications and solutions that will be using mobile sensors. This is all I have. If there are any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.